Just find the right place in the program, make the appropriate change, and we'll run the whole thing again. Speech is still very complicated. Music is simpler.
Is that a question?
Yes.
The question is futile.
My interpretation of the data leaves little room for error. The art of leadership is delegation.
That information is not available. This constitutes all available data.
You know what they say, no good deed goes unpunished.
Howdy do. How you doing? Bit of progress, bit more progress. How the devil are you all on a Sunday morning? No, it's not. Sunday just after midday. So I spent the morning since about 8 o'clock just redoing the models and uploading them onto MakerWorld. Managed to get them into a better state than trying to rush it through on the live stream last time. Anyway, so what progress have we got going on? So if you haven't joined before, welcome to the 7-band HF antenna, episode 23 of the switcher. It's the antenna switcher. Now we're just going on to, probably jumping the gun a little bit, web interface and the API control of it. So we're going to make a web interface to actuate the antenna switcher, as long as you've got the stepper motor add-on. So the web interface, you'll be able to bring it up onto your smartphone, tablet or PC, and you'll be able to manually log in and select its web page, which will give you a plan view of the switcher, and then you can just press the button to whichever antenna you want it to go to, and probably include something fancy like sweep from antenna and back again, and maybe in the future some integration cat control to get the signal strength, and maybe you can automatically switch to the antenna it's got the better or cleaner signal. Anyway, that's for future. So it also needs to keep have an API control, application and program interface, so you can hook up other software to it without having to press its button from the web interface. So you basically send the ESP32 controller commands via your whichever solution you're trying to integrate from, and then you can switch the switcher. So obviously, because this is its web interface and API control, it can be done from anywhere in the world. So if you're remote controlling your radio, many people do now when they go on holiday, so you will be able to switch your switcher to a different antenna as well. Obviously this is a DIY version of it. There are probably commercial versions that do similar things. So anyway, I made my own. Anyway, that's the introduction. So for this part of it, so I'll show you. I redesigned the weatherproof enclosure yesterday, so I'll get that out of the way. Let's just have a look at that. So I'll show you the model first if I'd have had it open. Let me just load that while we have a look at the physical. So this seems like the same as what we had the other day, but I've gone ahead and redesigned because we had a problem with snapping off. So we've got a nice indent in there for the stepper motor to sit in. It just sits in there and won't fall out. And we've got these thicker posts and shortened this and made these thicker, so there's no chance of it breaking off. And we've got the hole pass through, and all the rest of it.
Mike 7 Hotel Kilo November.
Okay, so there's that, and this is still the original lid, which the lid was okay. So basically that's what sits on your pole. It's a bit of a repeat of what we did the other day, but basically you clamp that on to your scaffold pole wherever you want it, and you work on it from there. Yeah. Okay.
Golf 4 Tango Charlie uniform. This is Mike 7 Hotel Kilo
With that
November.
out of the way.
Yeah, I can. Do you want to try 450?
Let's go back to. Right, I'm just loading up the model. I don't know why. I was going to show you. Yeah, I'll show you a little bit of a change on there when it actually catches up. Right, I've got everything else ready. I didn't get this ready. So there's the weatherproof enclosure. So when I went ahead yesterday evening and modified it somewhat. So I made these things thicker and lowered down this bit, as it was just a waste of plastic. Anyway, so we've got it all there, and there's the lid. And if you go X-ray mode, you can see the switcher inside. So we've got three things on Maker World now, 3 designs. So we've got, let me just switch off that. Oops, wrong one. I'm switching the wrong stuff off here. Right, so if we go, just go on here. So if we switch off the stepper motor add-on, so this is the first design on Maker World, which is all the bits to make this up. That includes the spindle. So you got the spindle, which is in parts, the actuator, and then you got what I call the chassis, and you got the base and the lid. So that's available on Maker World. Let's just have a look at that. Right, so here's the Maker World website.
Mike 6 Alpha November or M7
And
Is there a KSB
you
calling
can see you've got the I've split it up. So we've got the main unit. If we have a look on this one, right, so we've got the main unit here. I've added a bit of a description. It's the same description on all 3 parts, and basically you can download that into Bamboo Studio. Open in Bamboo Studio. Will that actually work? Let's try it. No, tell you what. Well, it'll work. I think I've already... Oh, we've got some printing going on. I've gone ahead and printed in silver the chassis parts, which was based from the download. Now you can see the download. I've got 4 plates on now and all the different colours sorted out. So that's what we're printing currently. Just printing that out. I don't need them, but we'll make another set. Actually, I've got another one which is slightly different, so I could probably use it. And we've got the base and the... We've got the base and the lid. Now, these are available in plastic, but you can either tin foil them or aluminium foil over them, or electroplate them. You'll have to get some conductive gel, paste it on, and do your electroplating. Or you do what I did and CNC them out of 1.2mm anodized aluminium. So that's the top and bottom, and then you've got all the spindle parts. So you've got you have to assemble them so they're ready to print. Okay, so you assemble them, and then you've got also your actuator. Now I'm going to change this thumb turn to a bit bigger one of the days, but it's okay for now. So Honestly, we've got silver, white and red, and it's all ABS. You can print it in whatever you want. I've just done it in ABS because it can take a bit of a higher temperature than just PLA. You can print it in whatever you want. So there's that. And if I go over to just search again, will it find the other two that I've, yeah. So we've got that, and then there's a stepper motor add-on. Let's see if we can find the stepper motor add-on. I did call it something else. Let's go and have a look again. Right, so if I go back a second. Right, so antenna switcher stepper motor, so I need to search for that. It would only let, it doesn't show you, if you have it too long, it only shows you the title, so they're all the same. So, let's go back here. So, I have to get rid of some of that. Alright, let's see if it finds it. Yeah, there's the stepper motor add-on. So if you load that up, and gives you the same detail, but if we open, download and open, this is how you do it. Right, so these are it's just the two parts in silver to add a stepper motor to it. So there's your spacer and then your mounting bracket. So you've got that there. Let's go back again. So enclosure. There's your enclosure. So we can. It's the same detail again. Shows you a model and the actual. So just downloading that. Now it's going to load two plates. So you've got your base and your bracket all in one, and then you've got your lid. So you'd have to print them, and that's again in ABS, black ABS. You can print them whatever you want. Okay, so there's the three things. So they're downloadable off the site. I went ahead and downloaded that. We'll probably update that I've downloaded these two. So I got rid of the old ones that were slightly a bit of a mess. So that's much better for you. Just make sure we got some audio. So yeah, we got audio. Okay, so going back to the thumbnail now then. There's your thumbnail. So what we're going to do today, this was created by Gemini, Google's Gemini. I said I wanted to control a web interface with person with two hands in a web shape, so it drew me this, and I've just put it in and set it up. So this is number 23. So what have we got already? Let's have a look what we've got already. So at the minute we've got, I suppose we could give you a quick overview. Let's have a look what we've got already. So I've got Visual Studio Code running here. It wants me to reload the IDE, so let's go ahead and do that. Right, so I could set up a controller. So we're going to need this out anyway at some point, so I'm going to have to set this up. Right, so we've got the main controller here. Get rid of some of the stuff. Oops, here we go again. Right. So we've got at the minute we've got a Raspberry Pi Pico running it. Tell you what, why don't I just get rid of these? Put that in there, and it won't keep falling off. See that? Of course, everything's got to fall down. collapse. Yeah. Right. Okay. There's another one that we made earlier. Just waiting for some more of these SO239 sockets. Right, so I need to connect it up to 12 volts. So I'll get some crocodile clips out.
145575.
Right, so I want some crocodile clips to give it 12 volts. We'll do that. So anyway, so we want plus volts. No, that's not the plus, that's the minus. You don't get your plus and minus mixed up. Alright, I'll stick that down on the floor. And plug in the power supply, which is hopefully still set for 12 volts. Let me just double check, yeah it is. So we're okay there. Right, so we've got no one on H here. 120 meters at the minute. Okay, so I've got that there, so we're going to need to plug it into the stepper motor. Now that the only the working one we've got is in here. Well, the only complete one we've got, so I'm going to have to take that out. So I'm just going to take that out a minute. I'll just leave the enclosure there. Right, so we're ready to plug that in. Let's just plug the adapter in. So I've got it there. We're going to need some 5 volts. Let's get some 5 volts from a USB port to power the Raspberry Pi Pico. You can see it's already going ahead and trying to home itself. Okay, let's just try something. Let's try switching it. There you go. It's already got a working piece of software, but this is without web interface. It's just boilerplate code to make it switch. Right, you can have a close up if you want. It's got the ball bearings as well. It's working pretty well. Anyway, you've seen that, so let's get on with the web interface. So we've got software that turns it, that's the main thing. So let's just have a look. Let's just go over to the software. Well, this is Visual Studio Code, and we'll just get rid of that. It's probably updated something or other. Right, so this is our code from last time. This is not a web interface. So this is just the actual code to make it switch, so we need to incorporate that into our main. So we're going to have to create a new one. Let's just have a look at this. What's this saying? I don't know whether I've created, deleted, ignore that. Yeah, that's something new it's showing us. Don't want to see that. Right, so I've got something going on down here. New code update available. Right, we don't want to do that yet, do we? So, now did I create a... I got in my solutions. It says I've got some new files to change. So what I need to do is prepare a folder. Let me just see if I've got a folder set up for it. On drive C, I keep all my stuff in my solutions. Alright, so I've got H, yeah, we've already got a folder for it. That's okay. So what I'm going to have to do is now is create a new one for its web interface. So let's create a new folder. Right, and it's going to be an ESP32 and not by Pico, so we'll have to rename this. So we're going to call this the... What are we going to call it? Let's bring that over there a minute. And let's just have a look on there. So we're going to call it...
Mike 7 Hotel Kilo November, listening for any calls.
Right, we're going to call this, what are we going to call it? It's an ESP32, but we call it a 7-band. Start off, right, so it's HF. Now let's call it antenna. Switcher. ESP32 web interface, and I don't know if you can do and. I'll just put plus API. That's it. Okay, that's going to be the folder name, and we're going to call this project as well. So what I've got to do is I've got to open up my main project, or copy it. Let's copy it. Or do we clone it? Should clone it really, shouldn't we? Can't clone it because it's a private one. So I'm going to have to, yeah.
Delta Lima 8 Hotel Bravo. Good afternoon, Jonas. You are here with the 547.
Right, so if I'm going to clone it, I need to get rid of some of the stuff. So it's not exactly a clone, is it? Just reusing some code. So okay, let's do that then. So I need to find in my solutions, it's a UPAS engine, that's it there. Yeah, that's the code for it, so I'm gonna have to copy all that.
Mike 7 Hotel Kilo November, listening for any calls.
And put it into there.
Mike 7 Oscar Oscar Romeo, if you're listening, Steve, monitoring 28577.
I'm going to copy the whole lot into there. Okay, that's going to take a little while by the looks of it, not too long. What's happened to the right, anyway, so if we're okay. Got lots going on. Only got about another hour to go on this. Well, yeah, because I've got some things to do today. It's gone very noisy on here. I don't know why. Let's try a different band. I haven't currently got any switches on the radio. That's even worse. And that's worse. Let's have a look on 40 meters. Everyone's a bit noisy. Yeah, nothing much happening on there, so back to 20 meters. Right, oh, so we seem to have copied it. Now, I don't know how it's going to like this, so we're going to have to... I'll just close that down. I'm going to have to open a new folder. Open a folder. and it's going to be that folder there. Let's see if it complains wildly. A workspace file, do you want to open it? No. Let's not open the workspace file. Right. So, let's see if we need to rename anything. Right, yeah, so we've got multiple targeted microcontrollers. That's the one we want there. So we want to do a node MCU. Yeah, it's going to be quite detailed in order to get the stuff out of this. There's a lot going on. If we have a look in source, we've got a lot of code here. We're going to need some of it, but not all of it. So we'll leave the stuff there, but we'll change the interface. So we'll start with main. We're going to have to break it before we make it. Right, so we've got yeah, serial debug. There's a lot going on. Anyway, what I wanted to do is make sure we can get it into a suppository. Not suppository. Scratch that. Repository. Repo. A repo. So it's going to be a public project. So I've got eventually, can't be straight away because it's got some my code in there that's non-public at the minute. So let's go over to GitHub. Right, we need to go over to GitHub. We're going to do GitHub this time. Let's just get into my stuff. Right, so we've got what we've got going on here. We've got a few projects. Tiny, Unexpected Makers Tiny Watch S3 official firmware fork, and then we've got my Event Horizon project. So we're going to have to create a new project. Right, repositories. Hang on, no, there's no project. Repositories, right? So a new repository. Follow. How do I create a new one from here? Not sure how I create a new one. Type. Maybe I've got to do it from something else. Sign in. Oh, I've got to sign in. So let's just sign in. Okay. Right, so here we are, 2 repositories. Oh, 7 repositories. How come we've got 7? Oh yeah, they're non-public. Yeah, so we've got various stuff. Yeah. Okay, so what I need to do is I need a new repository, so create a new repository. Right, so it's going to be called the same as the file, which we called it same as that. So there's your repository name. Antenna switch, yeah, that's it. It's going to be the same description. Choose visibility. It's going to have to be private to start with until I've got rid of the code, because it's got all my private code in. So we only want the bits we need. I'm going to strip it out, add a readme. Add a git right, create a repository. I'm sure I can change it after. Right, okay. Now I could create a repository for the boilerplate code, but we won't do that because we'll soon have it in this main one anyway. Once I've stripped out some of the commercial stuff out of my UPAS project and just left the bits we need for our switching, then we can carry on. So right, so we've got it there. Is that it? Quick setup. Okay, create a new file, upload an existing file, get started. Right. Okay, add collaborators, set up a git. Right, so we don't know none of that at the minute. Set up in a desktop. Anyway, so what I've got to do is I've got to clone it or put the files in. So this is the bit where I get a bit lost now because I haven't done it for a while. Right, so we want issues, code, settings. Right, create a new on the command line. Quick setup. Create a new file or create a new repository on a command or push an existing. Right, so we want to push an existing repository.
Oscar Romeo, G0KSB, wakey wakey.
Right. Okay, so there's your commands. I think. What's this do? Copies it.
G0KSB by for any calls.
Right. Not done this for a while, so I'm a bit rusty. So if I go back to not that one, that one. Right, so if I go on here, control source, it doesn't know where it's coming from, does it? Repositories. Oh, so it's got that. Okay. Push. Where's it going to push it to? Commit. Pull. Push. Fetch. Show. Git output. Synchronize. Change it. Check out branch tab. So, where's it going to put it to? That's the thing. More actions. Push. Push it. Where's it going to push it? Is it clever enough to know? No idea. It didn't seem to take long, so I don't think it knew what to do with it. Let's just have a look in here. Has it created anything? Actions, project, so we're on there. Still haven't done anything. Maybe we haven't finished. Right, so if I go into a command line and do this, maybe that'll do it. So let's go. So I want a command prompt. Right, so we want to cd/ cd my solutions, cd, what do they call it, antenna, I need the name of the folder, not no. Right, okay, it won't let me do that. I'll just take it off the screen. So CD antenna switcher ESP32 web interface plus API. Right, so it's in there. Do a directory. Right, so I need to push everything. Now can I just do a paste the git? Hang on. I don't remember how to do this anymore, but anyway. Let's see if it'll do it. Remote origin already exists. Right, okay. Right, so it already exists because I've created it. Or pushing exists from the command line. On the command line. Let's have a look if we can. I hope I'm not messing stuff up here.
Mike 6 Alpha. Mike 6 Alpha November M7
Okay.
RR G0 KSB.
Right, let's just see what happens. I have no clue. Right, what's it doing? Packed remote updating versions. Aha, look what it's done. It's done a different thing. Nah, that's not right. It's messed it up. It's looking at my UPAS engine. Set up to track origin. How do you undo that? It's messed it up big style. Alright, so we messed that up. See if we can get any help off ChatGPT. It always goes back to ChatGPT in the end. Right. Tried to create a repo on GitHub. God, what does it say? Hang on. Let's see if it can copy that. Right, let's see if it's. I've just sent it a load of stuff there. Let's see what it's got to say about it. Yep, classic Git original already exists. Why did it push to Azure instead of GitHub? Moment. Right, what the hell? Fix it. Remove -v, or probably still something like. Well, God. I've got to be careful here. I'm going to end up losing my original code for my main project. That took 14 years, so I've got to be careful here. Very careful. I have no idea. This Linus Torvalds, who created this Git, very strange fellow. Strange way of doing stuff. This Linux stuff is strange, very alien. If you want both, you can do rename origin Azure. Christ. Right, I just want to undo. How to undo what I've just done. Right, so push origins late. Your origin of Azure remote, check with Git remote first. Change your remote. The remote is shared. Undoing push can overwrite the history. If you want to go back to your previous name, bloody hell. I don't know what I'm doing. So, hang on. Where's the original instructions? I just followed this, following, and just wanted to reuse code on another project, but leave the original intact. But you see what happened. Now it makes, but you weren't trying to mess up the original repo, you just want to reuse the code in a new project while keeping the original. This issue is that by running the commands in your existing repo folder, you are modifying the original repository, not creating a fresh copy of the new project. Easy fix. Keep the original repo intact. Right now your original repo still exists in what? Everything is still there, you haven't deleted anything. You don't need to worry about losing your original work. Create a new project with the same code. Instead of using the original folder, make a new folder. Copy all the code from the original project. Remove the old Git history. Initialize it, connect it, right. What I need is to make sure my original repo UPAS engine is unaffected. We'll make absolutely your repo stays can be intact right now. Everything you did was in a different folder, but the commands affect the Git inside whatever folder you ran them in. As long as you don't touch, it will remain untouched. Here's a safe approach. Make sure repo is left alone. Make a fresh copy. Bloody hell, this is annoying. It's horrible, this Git stuff is horrible. I don't know what that fellow was thinking of with all this alien technology, alien whatever it is. So, what effect have I had on my two repos? Let's carefully untangle. Yeah, exactly, untangle it, because it's a complete mess. You could lose stomach probably from your output. It's not my output, it's what it found. You push something probably empty or initial commit folder to your... I didn't want to do that. Did not delete anything from already had code. You likely just added a new branch or updated main. If it has already been used, you might have overwritten main if you didn't exist or wasn't identical. Yeah, you can look at the history in Azure DevOps locally. Right, so your bloody program's a complete mess. So if I go back to here, right, I've got to sign in again. No, am I signed in? 8 repos. UPAS, where are you? It's not even there. It's gone. Where's my UPAS engine? This is what I'm talking about. Where's my bloody UPAS engine gone? I had 8 repositories before and I've still got 8 UPAS. Fucking hell, it's took it away, excuse my language. This together with this Git and together with AI is the most annoying thing. I can no longer see UPAS engine repo in GitHub, github.com/Dave Paul Jones. Now let's see what probably happened. Based on your earlier commands and your antenna switch already had a Git repo inside it. You ran original main, but in this folder the origin remote was pointing to your not Git, so Git pushed the main branch from this folder to Azure, not GitHub. You probably also tried, or thought you did, to push to GitHub, but said already exists. Yeah, I mean you did not add GitHub remote. Your folder was still pointing to Azure. Why you don't see UPAS engine on GitHub? Never existed on GitHub. It was on Azure DevOps. I thought I saw it there earlier. All the push you did from the antenna switcher file went to Azure, not GitHub. That's why when you check GitHub, it's missing. It's never been there. Alright, maybe so. Maybe so, but I'm pretty sure I saw it there. Alright, let's try it. Let's have a look. I've got that one, but is that the old one? Master file in VS Code. Right, where's the repo? What was the last thing I did in it? Got to be very careful here. Source. History. 1st of November. Yeah, that'll be the one. So it's still there. This is what the message, you got DevOps and GitHub stuff everywhere. It's supposed to be version control, but it's just confusing. Anyway, looks like it's still there, but I could have sworn I put it in here. I wanted everything to go into here, see. Alright, let's see what's in here. So this is a copy of it anyway. So that's supposed to be a repository, so where's the files? Right. Okay, I copied the files from the UPAS engine to antenna switcher ESP32 web interface plus API. So how do I push the files onto GitHub? GitHub repo. That really copied. I don't know if I can push the repo. Make sure you're in the new folder. I did that. Remove the old Git history. from UPAS engine. If the folder contains a Git folder copied from Git engine, delete it. Right, this makes the folder a fresh Git repo. Right, okay. Yeah, then what? Initialize a new Git repository. Right, fair play. I don't do this from year to year. It's like 5 or 6 years since I did this last. You can't be expected to remember if you're not doing it every day. Initialize empty Git repository. Yeah. Stage all files for commit. Right, okay, now we're talking. Make the initial commit. Right. Okay, is that it? No. Make the initial commit. Create a new Git repository. Name it exactly how you want. I've already done that. Add the repo as a remote. Alright, then push the code to GitHub. I'm supposed to remember all that. Right, looks so far so good. All I want to know is, did it work? I don't need all the spiel, 100%, blah blah blah. Anyway, so I don't know if it's there or not, so we'll go and have a look. Right, so let's just refresh this page. Yeah, we've got some stuff now in the repo. Fair play. So let's make sure we're still okay here. Yeah, okay, fair play. Right, so we've got, see what I'm saying, that's my original code, a copy of it, which we need. Okay. Now I need to go back to, come out of that. I need to go here, have a look at, right, it says it's committed, so let's do a push pull. Right, what's it doing? No idea what it's doing. Seems to be okay, so if I go to files, right, let's change something in main. That's probably a good idea. Let's break something. Let's just say it's me. Has it changed? Right, so that's it. File save and go back to there. Should have got one change. Commit initial setup. Oops. Commit and push. Right, let's see if it's gone over to the Git repo. Right, here's the Git repo. So if we go in source, and main. Where's main? What the hell? Where's main? Has it gone down the bottom? Yeah. So I'll have a look in main. It's me. It's me. Has it changed? Yeah. Let's just make sure my original hasn't changed. Shouldn't have done. Main. Yes, it hasn't changed. That's good. Pressure's off. Yeah, pressure's off. So we've got a working repo. So let's just go back to Visual Studio Code, take that off and save it. It should come up here. Yeah, so push that back. And push it. So I pushed it, and is it going to realise it's changed yet? Refresh the page. Yeah, it's gone now, look. Right, okay. Right, so are we private? Or should be private? At the minute. Where's the status? Code. Is it private? Can't tell. Don't know where I'm looking. Settings. No. Project. Issues. Pull requests. Security. Right. Hang on. I don't know where you go to it. Code. How'd you find out? Create a new release, packages. Anyway, I said it was private. Oh, it is private. There it is. Written right there. So if I go back to here and have a look at event arrive, that's public. Public. No, right. So where's our new repository? Why isn't it here? Customize your pins. So right, okay, 3 commits. That's about right. Okay, so far so good. So what we need to do now is have a look at the pages. So I want the source. So the first thing we want to do is have a look at the HTML. If I can remember where it was. HTML login. Yeah, I've split them all up. So you've got your header and footer. So what we need to do is probably set up initially. If I plug one of these in, if I can find it. There it is. So we'll just plug an ESP32, one of my gadgets' original code, because it uses the same thing. Plug that in and access its web interface. How are we gonna? Oh yeah, we can upload it via the the firmware directly. So I'm gonna plug this in. It's just got an OLED in it and the controller, and it's got the date, so it's connected to the web, the local area network, and fetched its network time protocol off the web. So we can just leave that there now, and we'll be able to access it. So let's bring up a. We finished that for now. Yeah, we finished that to now. Right, so let's load up. Let's go to it if I can remember. That was probably it. Yeah, so you can't see it. Right, so this is its web interface I've just brought up. It's in the shape of a mobile phone. So obviously it's got all the graphics and everything to do with my UPAS engine project. But you can log in and you can do stuff like click the relay. You can't see it from here. So we've got this gadget here, and I click the button, you can see it light up green. So basically that's, you can hear it clicking. It's quick, it's not relying on any cloud service, it's serving its own web page, it doesn't need a service. Alright, so I'll put that somewhere so I don't trip over it. Alright. So we've got its web interface. Obviously it'll have an API strapped to it as well. Gotta be careful I don't short everything out. Easy done. Right, so at the minute we've got two lots of code. We've got the code that runs this. On a Pi Pico, boilerplate code with no web interface and no ability to do it other than the buttons. So we don't want buttons, we want web interface. So what we've got to do is obviously still got the UPAS logo. We'll have to change that for the logo. Whatever we're going to call it, antenna switcher. Half Greek geek antennas, whatever it is, need to be called. So we've obviously you've got an about on it. Welcome to firmware build and all the rest of it. DP Jones, right? That's like company that doesn't earn any money. I have to do a day job still, but it does have a legitimate company anyway. Right, so we've got events, so we can see all sorts of events going on, like impulse the relay. You could say switch to antenna output 1, perform a scan. This takes token resistors, but we don't want to know about the tokens. You've also got time zones for relay 1. I don't think we need to switch it on a certain time. Nothing fancy like that. What's happened here? Yeah, so we don't need to give it a switch, a relay from a time zone. What else don't we need to do? We can set the login details, the password and that. We can change the network, so we can change the port and the network IP address, the SSID of the Wi-Fi interface, and the password that you want to join your Wi-Fi. And you can set your network time protocol if you want to have the time on it. Also, we don't need all of that. Comms, right, you've got comms. Now this is the communication. It sets up a couple of ports so it can talk to the main software, which is this one here. I'll show you just in case you might think you want to do something with it. We could. Alright, let's just load this up.
Welcome to UPAS.
Right, so we've got the main software front end, which is in the form of a server rack, which goes hand in hand at the minute with these settings, with the web interface. So it's actually, you can talk to it via its web interface or with the main software. So you can expand that, do various things, save settings, retrieve settings, A bit like database, all these settings can be changed from here or directly. We don't need this. We don't need to manage multiple switches, I don't think. You can either open its web interface 2 or 3 times depending on how many devices you've got, or you can put it into the rack here. Anyway, so the rack is comes with more stuff. So you've got various tree view and event log and top events and all this kind of stuff, scripts. So you could run a script. So you might want to do a scan. Well, you can click a script. So this one is the war game script.
Greetings, Professor Bolton. Excellent. It's been a long time. Can you explain the removal of your user account on June 23rd, 1973? Shall we play a game?
How about mobile ammo nuclear war?
Wouldn't you prefer a good game of chess?
This is just the scripting language. Yeah. So that's just a bit of a thing for running a script. So you could say switch to antenna 1. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's create one. New script. Let's call it. I don't know. Sweep. Switcher sweep. Okay. So switcher sweep. We'll create 10 tick 1020. We'd have to do an open. We'd have to do an open command. We've got to work that out. We might have to add some extra stuff. But all this is the same commands can be used in the API to make things happen. So the minute if we wanted to switch relay 1, we go open 1. I think. No, open address. Yeah, so you need an address, so it'll be 81. And yeah, open 81. Is that right? I can't even remember. Let's try that. We can always do help. So question mark open. No. Hang on, how do you do it now? Can't remember. So open question mark. There you go. So it gives you the commands. Requests a unit to latch relay number. Open address and number. Oh, relay number, yeah. So we could say it's got 7 relays when it hasn't. Or we could create a new command call. Call it operate an auxiliary device. So we could do if we do a list. So we go to 20. We can overwrite. So we can go open 81.1. So that'll open relay 1 on 81. And then you can do 30 delay 5 cycles, and then you can do 40 say completed switching relay 1, and you could list that out and you could run it. Actually, it clicked then as well.
Switching relay 1.
Yes, it switched it. Now there's a problem on here though. It's constantly showing response back, so something not tying up there. But anyway, it did switch it. So we can do a direct command line thing. So close 81.1, and it's just closed the relay. Let's do open 81.1. Yeah, it's not showing you on the screen. It's actually doing it on the relay behind me. And you can list it and just save it. A bit like the old Amstrad Basic. But you can do other stuff like run a script from a script and start over again. Anyway, we'll come out of that. Obviously, it's there. It is there. If you want to open it again. Anyway, so that's what that can do. So it begs a question. Let me have a look at the web interface a minute now. Right, so we're going to bring that over here. Let's have a look at the web interface. Something's not matching here. So packet address is 81. Network is 81. Right, let's just check some settings here. On the wireless. We're 81. Yeah, so everything looks good. So I'm not sure what the problem is. I think we had this problem last time. Let's just do a search for it.
Searching default slots for new engines. Search finished. No new engines found. Issuing a broadcast request ID.
No, it's not liking that for some reason. Don't know why. It's probably something to do with the communication. It's expecting. So Wi-Fi is a master, yeah, that's right. Let's have a look at the Wi-Fi wireless settings. Has a Wi-Fi, yes. It's in station mode, yes it is. All looks good, so I'm not sure what's going on. Let's try again.
Searching default slots for new engines. Search finished. No new engines found. Issuing a broadcast request ID.
It's not liking that. Let's try a new site. Anyway, we'll leave that. That's going off on a bit of a tangent. So we need to get rid of. We need to keep all the network stuff. Need to keep all the network stuff, the login, the network, and the comms for now. Reader type, we don't need a reader. Reader interface, we'll just hide that out of the way. Memory configuration, so tokens and events. So we don't really need that, but we'll leave it there anyway. What else we got? Maintenance, factory reset, system reboot, time zone clear, toggle, clear the ACU, set the ACU. Maybe that's why we didn't work. Clear events, set spare. Right, firmware update. We can do a firmware update from here. Select the file and update the firmware. So we'll keep that. The clock. We'll keep the time. Why not keep the time? Egress time. We don't need that. So we could basically keep most of it and just change the controls. So we have a new. We'll keep the controls there. We'll just hide it. We'll create a new page, and we want a plan view of a hex. So if I paste that into ChatGPT, let's just get rid of this a minute.
Thank you for using UPAS.
Yeah, so I've done a lot of programming on that. So we're going to reuse this firmware. Obviously we can get rid of a lot of it, just hide a lot of it. So we don't need to see too much of that. So we want a web interface in an octagon format. So we can just click, or you could say antenna output 1, antenna output 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and sweep. So you could do that, but it would rather have a nice interface. So what I'll do is I'll give this to ChatGPT. So the content, so we've got the header. Right, what have we got here? Engine. Can't remember what we've got now. ESP32. Why has this gone out of colour? Why it doesn't? It's not enabled. Oh, right. Don't know why that is. Let's have a look at platform mini. So we're on this one. Node MCU, touchscreen. Right. Debug is off. Web AT. It's got a web API. Yeah, so that's the one. We're on that one. So we want to go back to HTML content. Ah, it keeps unhighlighting it. I don't know why. Something not right. If defined ESP32. Yeah, don't know why it's doing that. That one's doing the same. Login, that's the same. Right, what else have we got? Let's go on to... And that's doing the same. Has Wi-Fi comms. Right, has Wi-Fi comms is true. So for some reason it's not selecting it right. Don't know why. Right, so we've got the default. Yeah, I think that's right. No, that's the default, so we want that one. That's what we're on. Right, so I've just switched to that, but I thought it was already on it. Yeah, once we get all this, we can start stripping it down. And we've got to incorporate into it the stepper motor section. Right, so we'll go on to this again. Oh, it's alright now. Can you believe that? I didn't do anything. Right, let's just save it. Okay, so we can go down the list. So I need to copy this. Right, so I'm going to copy this. Give it to ChatGPT. Oh, hang on. Do we need to do that? Yeah, so I don't know which one. Header, footer. Have I got a separate page? Can't remember if I've got. Oh, I've got separate pages. So if I select all. Hang on. I'll give it the. I'll probably run out of ChatGPT session. So if I give it, I'll give it the piece in question. Hang on. But it won't know because it won't have the CSS. I'll tell you what, we'll just ask it. There we go. I have a antenna switcher that switches 7 antennas. It is in the shape. What time we got? Gotta get going in a bit. The shape of a octagon. I need a HTML5 template for a ESP32 web interface. Just the content page. Just the content page for a plan view of a octagon shape. Bloody hell. Octagon shape. Each segment of the octagon each segment of the octagon is a button. I need the CSS and JavaScript to control. No, I don't need the Java. I've got it anyway. JavaScript to control the button highlights when clicked. I already have a working web interface that clicks and highlights buttons. But if you want to create something new, that's fine. I will later integrate it into existing code. Okay. I could upload example of my existing code if you wish. Got it. To clarify, before I start, you want an HTML5 template that shows an octagon-shaped plan view with 7 antennas as clickable segments. Each segment should be a button that can be highlighted when clicked. You already have the back end handling, so we just need the front end part. If you want, upload your existing code. Would help me make a template that is fully compatible with your current setup. That way I can match your styles, highlighting logic, event clicks. You want me to keep the 8th segment blank, or should the octagon usually have 8 sides with one inactive side? One side is the antenna feed. Include it as a switch. I will upload files for you. Right, okay, let's get some files. Right, so upload, upgrade to keep, go more uploads again. Shit, it won't let me do it. I've run out. Okay, so we'll continue later as ran out of messages. Okay, so I'll have to come back to that later. I've got to go out anyway. So what have we done today? So we're going to use this web interface style. So obviously you can expand it to a full screen or run it off your phone. So we'll have an hexagon shape that we can just click, click, click. And maybe a button to sweep or home button to home it. Anyway, so let's just go back to over here. Let's just get back to this. We're all up to date. So I'll close that down. Close that down. Right, let's have a look. Switcher, web interface, API control. So we started it. We've started it. So that's the main thing. We've started it. So just basically get rid of all this. And you can see it's switching. Have I got a home button? Oh, I've got a home button as well. So you can switch it. Leave it there, press the home, it'll home itself. So I need to put that in the other bit with a web interface. Okay, so anyway, I forgot where I got to. So we've got. I went ahead and changed that today. You can't see it. So we've got that, and they're all on. Should be able to search for them now. Online models. So if I do, I don't know if I can search for half Greek geek. Can I? Half Greek geek. Will it find anything? No. Just wants the name of the model. Antenna switcher. See what it finds. So it's found that one there. It's found that one. So it's found the main unit and the stepper motor add-on, and it's found the ABS enclosure. So yeah, so they are there. So if you pick on the main unit, download and open, it'll open up the 4 plates. There's your files.
Mike 7 Oscar Oscar Romeo M7
So if you print that out, they could end up with
28577.
end up with one of these, the top bit. You can switch manually, or you can have the stepper motor add-on, which is a spacer and that piece that just fastens over it, and then you can also go with the enclosure and pop your stepper motor inside there like that and put your lid on and mount that to your pole. Mount that to your pole with clips or whatever you're going to mount it with. Anyway, so it's pretty much covered it all. So we'll carry on with it maybe later on. Let's go back to the thumbnail. So number 23 in the series, web interface, API control. So we started it. We've started the code. So we're getting on with it basically. So see you on the next one. Thanks for watching and bye for now. Let me get back to the thumbnail. Alright. Yeah, so there's your thumbnail. See you on the next one. Bye bye.
Just find the right place in the program, make the appropriate change, and we'll run the whole thing again. still very complicated. Music is simpler.
Is that a question?
Yes.
The question is futile.
My interpretation of the data leaves little room for error. The art of leadership is delegation.
That information is not available. This constitutes all available data.
You know what they say. No good deed goes unpunished.